Ladies and beautiful people, welcome back to another anime reaction video. This one's going to be a nice, giant, long video for you all because this is Gigguk's Best Anime of 2024. Now, I guarantee there's going to be a lot on this list I haven't watched. I might skip some if there's spoilers. I don't know what's going to be on this list, but I know My Hero Academia came out in 2024, one of the latest seasons. I know Danmachi's latest season came out. I don't know if either of them are going to be on this list, but those are just like the two I'm thinking I might skip. My Hero Academia, I might not. We'll see. We might play it by ear. I don't know, because I plan on watching My Hero Academia once we finish JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but that's still going to be quite a while away. You know, like a year or so. So maybe we'll watch it. We'll play it by ear. But yes, anyway. The freaking video that we've all been waiting for, the one and only anime legend that is Gigguk, has released his best anime of 2024, and everyone's been asking me to react to it since it came out, so of course, that's what I'm gonna do. Press that like button, press that subscribe button, and let's jump into my first time ever reaction to the best anime. By the way, go check out Gigguk's channel, he's absolutely amazing. Link to his channel's in the description. Let's check out my first time ever reaction to the best anime of 2024 by Gigguk.
2024 has come and seemingly gone as soon as it began. It was certainly a busy year for global events, and I wouldn't blame you for just wanting to
I'm gonna say right now, I guarantee Oshinoko Season 2 isn't on this list, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a fucking travesty if it isn't on this list. Oshinoko Season 2 might be one of the greatest seasons of anime I have watched.
shut off the world
Bet
and
it's
put
not on
on
this
some
list.
anime, and thankfully, this year, anime came to play.
I'm hoping I've been proved wrong. Oh, Mushoku
Anime just
Tensei.
keeps continuing to soar in popularity
Dandadan.
for the better and for the
Man,
worse.
we've had a good year,
I
to
still
be
am
honest.
getting used to how much of a global phenomenon it's become. School friends who never had any interest in animation will hit me up telling me they saw Dandadan. People who had never heard of a Crunchyroll will casually talk about discovering this random Japanese show on Netflix. My parents watched anime this year. The idea of being a pure anime fan feels like it's slowly getting phased out as anime just becomes another part of pop culture. But for those of us who still wear that mantle,
Yeah,
what
I
else
guess.
is happening this year? For about 2 weeks, our community became obsessed with Deers, with the release of a song you'd last about 10 seconds in before realizing,
Ladies and gentlemen, I think my brain just committed suicide.
after years of waiting, it looked like we were finally getting the first great Junji Ito adaptation. Uzumaki came out and smashed the curse by giving us an anime that did justice to his horrifying art. It was disturbing. It was unnerving. This is it, the run that's going to change everything. We're gonna do it, and there comes episode 2. Freeren became a cultural phenomenon, popularizing the phrase, "That's what Himmel the hero would have done," inspiring people so much that someone quoted him after stopping a real knife attack, in a rare case of a Freeren fan.
What? That's a true story? Oh my gosh, that is incredible. I forget how much anime's come out this year, man. I forgot Mushoku Tensei was this year. What? And Freeren was this year? Last year, I mean?
Doing
Fucking hell.
something outside of posting Yubel's armpits. Demon Slayer laid the groundwork for its final arc by having his big bad Muzan
Demon
take 5
Slayer came out in
business days to
2024?
walk to his destination. Fans seem to be split on whether this scene was pure badassery or just over the top silly. I'm just saying, if
Fans are split on that? Bro, that scene was fucking awesome. And that's the only opinion anyone is allowed to have. I'm joking. You can have your own opinion. But if you do have an opinion that's different to mine, then you're wrong. Or you're wrong. Of course you're
they
wrong.
really wanted their villain to have unmatched aura, they should have just fully committed to the Bollywood way of introducing their characters. It felt like a truck full of massive manga came to the end of their serialization, which included 2 mega hits in My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen. I didn't read them, but I can say from experience that historically speaking, when a long-running massive Shonen Jump manga ends, it's almost always met with unanimous praise and support, and
What the hell was that
Shonen
picture?
Jump
What am I looking at there, man? The girl on the right looks like is very
manga
sweet.
ends, it's almost always met with unanimous praise and support, and
It's true.
this was no different.
I think my brain just committed suicide.
Isekai became an official word in the Oxford English Dictionary, giving legitimacy to all the isekai trashmen out there. Following the news, the search was officially started to find exactly who Truck-kun's British cousin would be. Here he is now.
Van Kun.
And last, but certainly not least,
It would be
we lost a
Vancouver.
legend this year in Akira Toriyama. I tried writing a longer segment for this, but nothing I wrote felt like it did justice to this man's legacy, so I'm gonna keep it short. He may not have been the mangaka that influenced me the most, but he is the mangaka that influenced the most people around the world. He inspired a generation of people, and his work will continue to inspire for many generations to come. And for that, what more can you say but thank you?
I absolutely agree, by the way. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way too. You know, he may not be a person that, like, we attach ourselves to that heavily with his work, especially someone like me who all the anime I react to is controlled by you guys, the viewer. But that doesn't mean that, like, literally everyone knew him. Everyone. Even someone like me, new to this world, directed by my audience. Everyone knew him.
This was a weird year to try and distill down when picking my best anime. To avoid any confusions, these videos aren't just meant to be a definitive shortlist of my favorites, but it's my favorites that I want to passionately share and talk about with you guys, and normally that's the vast majority. But it turns out that a lot of my favorite shows this year I don't have more than like 2 sentences to say, mainly because many of them have very recently been on previous year's list and they just continued doing what they were doing so well. So for the first time it felt right just to do some quick honorable mentions for the shows that helped define my year, even if I don't have much new to say. Honorable mentions. I actually really enjoyed this season of Oshinoko, maybe even more than the first season.
Yep.
This year we shifted gears to spotlight the Japanese theatre, resulting in some of the best episodes we've seen in the entire series, with some insane direction at times that really made you feel like you were living an authentic theatre experience.
I so agree.
I'm kind of starting to think that this show is at its best when Aqua isn't the main focus and when it can highlight other people's emotional journey through the world of entertainment. There was some fantastic character writing here, and now that the manga has come to an end, I'm sure we all have a lot to look forward to in future seasons.
I think my brain just committed.
Mushoku Tensei diabolically dropped one of its best ever episodes on Father's Day, then preceded it in the most Mushoku Tensei style possible, leaving me with some mixed feelings. Not so much with the development, but more in the manner in which it was executed. For a
I agree. Mushoku Tensei is the master of mixed feelings. It is the fucking king of it. You're watching, you're like, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. That's like every episode of Mushoku Tensei. It's like, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel kind of this way. I feel kind of this way. Also, I'm kind of sad that Oshinoko isn't on the list, if I'm being honest, because I truly, but maybe it wasn't on the list because it was in 2023. I'm also kind of sad Mushoku Tensei is on the list, if I'm being honest as well. The fact that they're being honorably mentioned makes me happy. I will say both like seasons were fucking awesome. The second half of Mushoku Tensei, and I truly believe Oshinoko season 2 kicks the shit out of season 1.
Series that historically has had no problem spending as much time as it needs exploring the complexities of human emotions, this one felt a bit out of sync. I still enjoyed it, but for the first time it left a bitter aftertaste in my mouth, and I'm not talking about whatever Roxy's been drinking. It was a delight to see the wacky chemistry between the Konosuba cast has not gotten boring at all. Demon
I respectfully disagree. Okay, with Gigguk there, I respect.
Slayer was a 10 out of 10. For one episode. Before that, it was the weakest season so far, shown by the fact that I gave it a 3 out of 10 and didn't set the internet on fire. Even though I think that's a little low, because surely this moment alone should bring it up a bit. Then there were the two...
Okay, right. Alright. Matt, I've just realized this is my first time experiencing this. Usually, I'm the one and I'm getting like yelled at in the comment section. This is my first time. Alright, again, I disagree on Mushoku Tensei. I think Mushoku Tensei was fucking awesome, and it didn't feel out of sync at all. It felt flawless. But Gigguk is completely entitled to his own opinion, so fair enough. And I massively disagree on Demon Slayer, but I'm just a Demon Slayer fanboy. I fucking love that anime so much, man. I thought the season was awesome. And you could tell it was building up to a huge battle, which is obviously what we're gonna get. So like, that was like the whole point. To build the characters and the development and the training and to like really fine tune those relationships for the big battle. So when that happens, we're very attached to all these people and we're scared and worried about them. It's what happens in every series. It is a smart move to do, and that's what good writers do. So I disagree in that regard.
Juggernauts of last year, Apothecary Diaries and Freeren, continuing their amazing run from 2023 to 2024. I introduced my mum to Apothecary Diaries this year, thinking it'll occupy her for a good week, and I thought I liked watching anime until I walked in one day later and she looks me in the eyes and goes, "It's done. That was too short. It was at this point I realized no matter
Jesus.
how powerful I think I am, I can never hope to match the power level of Asian mums watching their soap operas. And while I preferred the first half of Free Run that aired last year, it still continued to be a stellar show, tournament arc and all. I know everyone's thirsting over this green-haired girl, but I gotta say, the old man won my heart. A mage of principle and respect, reminding us that you may be out of mana, but you ain't out of hands. Showing the young'uns how to truly pound people up. No diddy. Make no mistake, if this was a simple one-sentence list, both of these shows would have easily ended up in my top 5. And on the other end of the spectrum, there were other returning shows, like my...
Again, it's interesting because I didn't feel... I didn't feel like that watching Free Ren. I felt like... Never once did I feel like one part was better than the other. Free Ren, for me, is the most consistent, flawless season of anime I've ever watched. I felt like every episode was just perfect.
Hero Academia. My Hero Academia was once the golden child of shonen, carrying on the torch to...
I'm gonna skip past this just a little bit because I don't want spoilers. What's this? We'll go here.
Us fucking... and the beating heart of what...
Is it all of number 11 My Hero Academia? Is it? I think it is. All right. All right, we're going to go past My Hero Academia. I just don't want to spoil it. All right, we'll start at number 10. There we go. All right, sorry if that was a bit weird there. But I'm just going to skip My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia apparently was number 11. Let's go.
Sometimes you come across a show that gives absolutely zero fucks and condenses its entire being into achieving one objective: having fun. That is Brave Bang Bravern. This is what happens when you take the over-the-top ridiculous hype of Gurren Lagann, add a bit of tokusatsu, and crash land it into the manly bravado world of Top Gun. Then make it about as straight as it too. It is a non-stop, glorious celebration of the best parts you can find in the mecha genre, then throws logic out the window and amps everything up to 11. Cheesy speeches, fusion scenes, old school theme songs that will grow your beard 5 inches. It takes all of them, then proudly throws them in your face. Oh, okay. What was that? Yes, because you know what? Subtext is for cowards. It doesn't care if you get it or not because it's here to do its own thing. If you ask, what?
All I'm saying is it would be a disservice to not use that word when comparing something to Top Gun. Okay? I'm just saying.
Does a mecha have a function where it plays its theme song and projects its own background screen? Why is the US military trying to waterboard giant robots? Why does the protagonist have karaoke subtitles so he can nail the speech during heroic moments? It'll look at you dead in the eye and say, fuck you, because this is Bravern. BRAVGWBGWBBWGGGWBBW.
Why is he saying...
It's a treat when you watch
Why
a show
is he saying
where you can
BBW
tell
so much,
every
man?
single person working on it was having a blast, and you get infected with that same joy.
I actually love it when you watch a show like that,
the
if I'm being
YouTube
honest.
poop of super robots. Forget a no bullshit show. This is an all bullshit show, and is damn proud of it.
You know
it's
what?
a show that fully commits to hitting every single emotional beat it needs to, then takes one step back and laughs at itself.
Come on, wake up! こんな時だったのにお盛んだね。
バカね。私たちもでしょ。
Alright, I'm sold. If I wasn't sold before, I'm sold now.
What makes super robots great? Give this one a watch. This isn't just a love letter to the mecha genre. This will make you fall in love with mecha. You know, figuratively speaking. Here. No. Here. No. Just hear me out. No, 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 no.
A great man once said... I mean, is it possible? A great man once said, those who do not, cannot, if you can, you should. What did the guy say? You know, it's like those who ask how should say when, something like that. A great man doesn't ask if we should do it. A great man asks how we should do it. Something along those lines. Anyway.
No, 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 no. Like many other people, watching anime can be my escape from reality, a place where you can enter a whole new world with stories that have absolutely no relation to the life you're living right now. So, what could be further from reality than a sci-fi show about alien invaders and the end of the world itself? It's the dreariest apocalypse of all time, where the world is going through an unprecedented global event. Misinformation, conspiracy theories, and finger-pointing have spread like wildfire on social media. Friendships are lost on where people stand with the issue of these aliens. Protests begin. Public trust is at an all-time low. The only thing that everyone
This is
can agree
cool.
on
What the hell is
that
this?
nobody can agree on what to do next. Politicians prioritize the economy over anything else. More and more, it feels like there isn't a single
What's that
competent
dude on the
person
right?
left in a position of
Bro.
power. And in between all that, the series
Classic
asks, what does it
politicians.
feel like to be a teenager?
Fucking cross
trying
between
your
Independence
best to
Day and
grasp a
District
sense
9.
of normalcy after living through major
the shit is
historical
this?
event after major historical event.
I love her hat.
This was the realest anime of 2024. Dead Demons. Destructions takes a different approach to the First Contact story. This isn't about an invasion. This isn't about communication. This is about people feeling absolutely lost, trying to cope with a world that seems to be crumbling around them. It's a cynical, biting look at life that sometimes felt a little bit too uncomfortably reminiscent to reality, showing us that even during an apocalypse, life has to and will go on. But there is hope, cause even during a chaotic time with aliens, spaceships, and sci-fi laser weapons, only then can the true heroes of society emerge.
What is this anime,
しっ
man?
かりしてほしいよ。
父さん SNS にはびこる私意識高いですアピールを繰り返す勘違い野郎を探し出し心霊写真をポストし続けなきゃならないのだからな。
It's true, it's true. One day, he will thank this Reddit mod for all that he has done for society. He must have left his fedora somewhere behind him or something.
He's finally here. Biblically accurate Twitter blue checkmark user.
Oh, you know. Now that's what I'm talking
When
about,
the last
baby!
season of ReZero came out, I looked
Finally,
like
we can
this.
agree
When
something.
the first season of ReZero came out, I looked like this. When ReZero was being written, I looked like this. It's insane to think that this show first blasting onto the scene, taking over the anime community was over 8 years ago. ReZero fans have been surviving eating at scraps, but this year we got the start of an all-you-can-eat buffet with its return. They brought everyone back for this one. Amelia, Krush, Felt, Anastasia, Priscilla,
Show Amelia
Subaru's
again.
newly acquired sassy Pokemon,
Yeah!
Reinhardt, Julius, them, let me
Betty,
solo her. Even
best girl.
Ren fans were eating this season. If you were one of the people
Oh,
who
we
thought
eating
season 2
good,
was a
Ren
little slow in
fans.
plot progression,
I mean, who?
season 3 went, don't worry, I hear you, and started off by dropping a nuke on itself. This
Yep.
was a no bullshit, non-stop
Oh
barrage
my
of chaos.
God, it
When you
was
thought
so
the situation
good!
couldn't get any worse, it does. Just when Subaru learned to value his own life and make an oath not to rely on the return by death mechanic, this pushed that commitment to the absolute limit. One thing goes wrong, then two. Before he can even put out one fire, 10 more pop up.
It's
there reaches
so
several
good!
parts where you think this is the point of no return, only for the series to hold and keep holding. Then
Yep.
it holds for another whole episode until
Yep.
you want to scream, please Subaru, there is no dishonor in typing FF15. This show
I
has never been
agree,
shy
I
of
agree.
introducing wacky, eccentric villains, and yet even this season had me going, good lord, ReZero.
It's funny how as a ReZero fan, you're literally like watching it, and we're split into like two different camps. You got the people who are like in freaking Subaru's corner, who are like, no, it's traumatizing. He shouldn't have the restart. And then you've got the other people who are like, bro, at this point, just fucking quit, man. Just restart, bring everyone back, start again, okay? Just fucking start again.
wacky, eccentric villains, and yet even this season had me going,
Oh my
good
God.
lord, ReZero, as I jizz and breathe. Forget introducing one
jizz.
villain
So
at a time.
good!
Let's introduce them all from the entire spectrum of crazy and deranged. To where
Yes.
they're so despicable, I genuinely hope every time he pees, it goes off in 2 streams and they both miss the toilet. They were introducing so many
Wow,
surprise
that's some
villains, I was
petty
expecting
bullshit.
one of the episodes to end like,
I was completely wrong, wasn't I? I had the dates wrong all this time. Did he come on out?
this was the action-packed season
No!
many of us asked for, and the real difference is just seeing how much Subaru is stepping up to the plate. It's been an absolute pleasure to see how much this is not the same Subaru we all recognized from the
No,
beginning. And
no.
now the dominoes are set up for him to knock them down in the most
This is
emphatic
our
way
boy.
possible in this
This is
arc's
our
conclusion
boy.
in 2025. And you bet your ass I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, baby, me too. Goddamn, ReZero cooks, man.
In the world of anime, there is no place more brutal, more cutthroat, more bloody than the romance genre. Girls duke it out in the battlefield of the protagonist's
true, it's
heart.
true, it's
Tears
very
are
true.
shed, hearts are broken, blood protein is spilled, but as we all know, there can only be 1, 2, 100, 0 winners, while the losers are there just left to rot. But this
That was kind of funny. That's kind of funny. This is one thing I always point out that I don't like, and it's probably one of my least favorite anime cliches, is the romance cliche. And now, I haven't properly watched a ton of romance anime. I have seen a few, but I haven't watched a lot. But I like that I've dabbled in different genres and styles, you know, up until this point. But everything I watch is recommended by you guys, so I've only seen what you guys have recommended. The most romance anime I've seen is probably Toradora. And I did really enjoy it, but I wasn't the hugest fan of the ending. What I will say is one thing that really pisses me off is the classic cliche in every freaking anime where the obliviousness of a relationship, where 5 girls like one guy, but he doesn't like any of them, or even know that any of them like him. Or one girl really likes him, but he doesn't know. Or he likes a girl, and she doesn't know. And it's just like, it's not fucking realistic.
This year,
it
too
drives
many
me crazy.
heroines saw all that and went, you know, just because a girl lost doesn't mean she wasn't best girl in the show. And anime girls with short blue hair deserve to be the main heroine for once. And cute tomboys and awkwardly shy chicks deserve their time in the spotlight too.
I agree. Yeah, no, actually, I agree. I can get on board with that
I want a little sister who's way too overprotective and calls me your Nii-chan because I love my little sisters. Too many losing heroines was the answer to all of that. It looked at romance anime and said, I'm tired of this single elimination bullshit. Where the hell is my losers bracket? And losers is all we see. 1, 2, 3 girls, all rejected by the man they love, coming together to form enough copium to rival the average Man United fan. We've seen romance anime where a girl loses, accepts her defeat, and that's the end of it. But this asked, what kind of reaction do we get after that point? Yahoo! This was the greatest hits montage of the saddest and funniest coping mechanisms people can find themselves when they're just in their lowest points. It's messy, it's emotional, it's sometimes just hilariously pathetic, and in between all of them is the victim of their non-consensual trauma dump. When I first...
So, milkshakes are good. And I should have a chocolate milkshake? Is that what the girl was drinking? Don't ask me why I pointed that out. I'm not hungry.
First saw this setup, I thought I had the show all figured out. Oh, here we go again. A laid-back, reserved guy paired with some loud, energetic, Genki anime girl. Wow, that's a trope I've never seen before. But as you watch, it doesn't play out how you think. The trigger never gets pulled, the patented anime blush scene never happens, and all we're left with is a guy forming a real friendship by just letting these girls feel like they don't have to deal with all of this alone. Too Many Losing Heroines was a different kind of rom-com in a highly competitive year full of them. There's a genuine sense of community with the cast as you're able to laugh with them at their highest points and really feel for them at their lowest. It's a show that knows when to laugh at itself and when to take itself 100% seriously, selling you on all these emotions. Anger, emptiness, denial, that knee-jerk conclusion that you just lack any self-worth, all in its 12-episode run. Losing Heroines was a different kind of rom-com in a highly competitive year full of them, and I say this as someone who's just not as interested in high school romance shows anymore. As a 34-year-old married man, there is just far less for me to relate to nowadays. Even if a show is decent, any school romance is going to have a hard time getting on my list. It can't just be good. It can't just be great. It's gotta be bloody fantastic. Modern romance anime has an epidemic. I don't know when it started, but it felt like I woke up one day and 90% of them collectively agreed to do exactly the same thing. Let's just make a guilt-free, comfy show with minimal conflict, drama, and progression showing daily interactions of some shy guy and a girl. Except the girl has the thing. You know what I mean? The thing. Maybe she communicates in Russian. Maybe she's just legally fucking blind. Maybe the thing is that she has undiagnosed schizophrenia. Where the hell did this all come from? Some call this an offshoot of the teasing genre, some call it comfort romances, and some call it bait for lonely dudes who get no bitches and stack no paper. With how much...
The weird thing is, that cliche is always there, where you have the shy, quiet guy and this overly eccentric, gorgeous girl, right? And that is like the cliche. But the annoying thing about it is the guy never gets the girl. That's the annoying thing. And the other annoying thing is this guy, the girl is always like teasing and interested and like flirting with the guy, but there's never any moves made. And it's almost like she wants him to make moves, and even though he's infatuated with her, he never does. And that drives me fucking insane. It is so annoying. And I totally want to get up with Gigguk here. Why? Why is this a thing? I feel like with a lot of the anime I've seen, the romance side is the most unrealistic like side I've seen. Maybe growing up here in the UK, like my relatability to the romance in a lot of these anime is just zero. It's just not like that when you. I don't know if it is in other countries, but it's not here in the UK.
This is all blending together. I'm starting to call this shit the isekai of the romance genre. And now I'm doubly convinced I'm never going to be able to look at one of these shows the same ever again because The Dangers in My Heart completely blows all of them out the water.
I might have to
hooks,
watch this then.
No gimmicks. This was just the purest depiction I've ever seen in anime
if I'm being honest.
Two people falling in love. Now, a wise man once said,
I think love is just like cringe.
and you know what? I stand by that. We can do some cringe-ass shit when we think we're in love.
That's good for a married man.
That person once that keeps you up at night wondering why you thought it was a good idea. It's that corny shit we clowned on in love songs, but secretly you wanted to feel just once. It's that dumbass joke you nervously blurted out in front of them that had everyone looking at you funny and made you want to crawl in a corner and just disappear. But it didn't fucking matter when you realized that they were the only one that laughed. That is The Dangers in My Heart. This isn't about the chase. It's not about the will they, won't they. It's about two people slowly discovering a form of comfort that only the other person can provide. Not just someone that
this
feels
sounds
that form of
awesome.
Companionship, but the one person who can break down that bullshit barrier you put around yourself and accepts you for that person you're scared to show
Oh
the
my god, is this a
outside
finished
world.
anime?
Here are two people just genuinely becoming the best versions of themselves.
Gigguk is selling
when
me
they're with
hard
each
on
other.
this,
And
man.
God, isn't that what it's all about? This didn't feel like some crush. This didn't feel like some contrived anime love story. This is romance in its purest fucking form and a reminder of what falling in love should feel like. In the race of modern great romance anime, you've heard of Kaguya-sama Love is War? Well, get ready for Yamada-kun Love is Cringe.
Nice. I'm feeling a bit sold if I'm being real. Girls Band Cry.
Girls Band Cry has girls in a band
Do they cry?
that...
They do.
Anime is not new to the girl rock band concept. It all started in 2009 with
K-On!
Girls Band Chai. 2 years ago saw the uprising of the highly beloved Girls Band Shy, even
Girls Band
tangentially in shows like Angel Beats that gave us Girls Band Die. We know what dynamic to expect. Cute girls doing cute things,
Oh,
chasing their
shit.
dreams, trying
That's
hard while having a
amazing.
jolly good time making new
Kind of funny that I've seen 2 out of 3 of those, by the way.
friends. And
Girls Band
Look
Die.
how adorable they are when they interact with each other. And then there's Girls Band
What-
Cry.
Bocchi the Rock is amazing. Is that voice critical? I just saw that. Who was that?
These aren't your pristine, perfect idol girls. They argue, talk shit to each other, throw tantrums. Our main girl
Interesting.
Nina
It's-
has a
it's,
public outburst, gets
CGI.
told to be quiet, and calmly responds by throwing a fucking lamp at him. Nina is your average New Yorker, but it's this brutal honesty with each other that makes this show feel so
Amazing.
real. Their friendship seems so genuine. The drama is not some cutesy nothing burger. Every person is carrying some trauma, a character flaw they live with. These girls act like girls. They can come off as childish. They can make naive decisions on their journey, and they, get this, do not get rewarded for it. This is no fairy tale, no idealistic story about chasing your dreams. This is a down-to-earth look at the harsh reality of staying true to yourself no matter what the world is telling you. But even
Do you know what I love so much about this is there's like anime on this list that the people who have seen it constantly speak so highly of, and I'm sort of like, I'm like smiling on their behalf, you know? The amount of people who have been telling me about Dangers in My Heart and Girls Band Cry and series that are on this list that I haven't seen. And watching this and like knowing that when Gigguk made this list, people must have been watching this and getting like a lot of gratification from it and being like, holy shit, like it's nice for someone to shine a light on an anime that maybe doesn't get enough attention. And the thing is, in the anime world, because you might say something like, oh, Girls Band Cry, underappreciated anime, and then there'll be people who will just be like, no, it wasn't underappreciated, it's actually the #1 best sold in India or something like that, and everyone's like, okay, it's like but it still can be underappreciated when you compare it to something bigger, you know, like the ReZeros, you know, the animes that have that bigger market and have that sort of like bigger status, you know, those series. And then even if an anime does well, it doesn't do as well as it deserves to do, and that's what I'm trying to get at here. So it's nice for a big YouTuber like Gigguk to shine a light on a series that a lot of people fall in love with, because so many people recommend these to me.
so, they refuse to betray their character. These girls embody the true spirit of rock, both its ups and its downs, and it's through watching their struggles do you get some of the finest drama you can find all year. Isn't this CG? Alright, get the fuck over here. No! I've had enough of your shit. I get that anime fans have a Pavlovian response anytime they see CG, but this is some of the best I've seen outside of Studio Orange. There's not a single moment.
Yeah, I will agree. I will also agree. I am slightly guilty of this. But not on the same level. This is where my like relationship with CG goes when it comes to anime. I stopped caring after about 10 minutes. And that's it. It's not going to bother me for the entire show. When I first watch it, I might be like, okay. But the second I adjust, I stop caring.
Where something interesting isn't happening in frame, every movement adds so much character, micro-expressions that perfectly emphasize emotions, and concert scenes that bring the fucking hype to the fantastic music. Speaking of which, ooh, the piano. That piano.
Isn't there a new fan-made opening I need to react to as well?
Girls Band Cry takes it back to basics. Great writing, great characters, great banter, and devious piano keys that bring joy upon my ears.
Oh, I agree, man. We got 4 more. Oh. Orb.
In this day and age, we've seen it all. Thrillers, gangster stories, pirates, ninjas, knights. It's so rare to see a concept that hasn't been done before. A story yet to be
Naruto
told.
and Sasuke, just another
Orb
day in the
on
office.
The movements of the earth was all of that, and
I
so
am
much more. In a
so
time
gonna
when
watch this
faith
anime,
was the
by the way.
dominating school of thought, when studying science was the Asian parent equivalent of finding out your kid wants to go to art school. What if you had to prove to everyone that the earth isn't the center of everything, but we're actually a rock flying thousands of miles per hour through the vastness of
I
space, held
cannot
down by
wait
this
to watch
invisible
this,
force
man.
you
I
can't touch,
cannot wait
see,
to
or
watch it.
smell. Oh, you think you can do that? I bet you still secretly give Pluto the planet pass when no one's around, you lying prick. Orb isn't just the
I'm gonna be honest. I do give Pluto the planet pass. Suck my balls. Pluto will be a planet till I die.
Story of heliocentrism. It's a captivating tale showing how one simple idea can change the course of
That's like
so
the
many
86
lives.
OST
An
playing
idea
in the
that just
background
won't die no matter how many times you try to extinguish it. It passes from person to person,
I
generation
cannot
to
wait
generation.
to watch this damn
story
anime.
is a testament to the lengths people will go in the pursuit of truth, in the face of adversity, in the face of unimaginable pain.
Vinland
Nothing
Saga.
can cage humanity's desire to look at the universe and go,
I understand it now.
if Dr. Stone made scientists look cool, this is a full-on celebration of the
Saga
scientific
meets
method.
Dr. Stone.
Because when the universe looks down at us and says, I will never reveal my secrets to you, humanity looks up and replies, fuck you, we're gonna try anyway. This is both the brutal reality and true beauty that comes in that pursuit of knowledge. How many people laid the groundwork of research and died just before a massive breakthrough? Are the real heroes of science the ones who come up with the correct ideas, or the ones who suffer the heartbreak of realizing they've dedicated their life work researching down the wrong path and yet still accept it, knowing that the next person will now know what not to do? It's the legacy of all these unsung heroes of science that Orb wants you to think about.
I've
This isn't
literally
about
heard
a life,
only good
but the
things about
lives
this
of the
anime.
people that give us the understanding of the world we have today. It never stops reminding us that through every great individual, every achievement, every giant leap humanity takes stands on the back of the work of the people that came before them. No matter what kind of old-fashioned archaic thinking that existed back then that could halt the progress of humanity.
誰もが簡単に文字を使えたらゴミのような情報で溢れ返ってしまう。
Wait, hold on a second. This guy might be onto something.
He might be actually, you know. I gotta be honest. He might be. I also gotta say, Gigguk's editing is absolutely fantastic. The videos are very well put together. I'm curious to see what anime is in the top 3. How many of these I've seen. I mean, I think we can all guess one that's gonna be in this list, right? But how high up is that one gonna be? That's what I'm curious about. We're now entering the last 10 minutes, the top 3 anime on this list. And I just want to say a huge shout out to Gigguk for putting this together. I know a lot of anime reactors always react to his videos, and I love reacting to them at the end of every single year. It's nice to get his incredibly valued opinion on what he deems as like quality anime. Because honestly, 9 times out of 10, I agree with everything he's saying. Although I have butted heads with him a lot at the beginning of this video, I still value his opinion very heavily. I think he's just brilliant. And he's brilliant at analyzing and critiquing what needs to be critiqued.
It really felt like anime rediscovered its love for pure fantasy.
I didn't expect this one on the list. I didn't really hear much about Delicious in a Dungeon.
Straight to our souls.
No one really
We
spoke
laughed,
to me about it
We
much.
cried, and the community replied, "Damn, that's deep." While all this was going on, another show was cooking.
Were people really that obsessed with the armpits? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see anyone talking about the armpits. other than Gigguk, I feel like this is maybe a him thing, you know? Gigguk, there's no way you're ever going to see this. Because I'm a tiny little fish, and you're the big fish in the anime pond, and I gotta say, bro, I honestly think the armpit thing, that's a you thing, bro. I think that started with you, dude.
With a different
I haven't
approach.
seen anyone
it had
mention
elves,
that.
It had dragons, it had dungeons, but looked at all these monsters and went,
Feast mode activated. Hashtag hungry. FeedMeMore.com.
Dungeon Meshi satiated all our appetites by giving us a different kind of fantasy show.
Okay.
And when I saw this, I thought, wow, finally. An anime where people just want to eat monsters and not want to fuck them. It presents itself as a low-stakes, comfy cooking show, then hits you with an attention to detail in its world building that most fantasy anime could only dream of. From the biology to the concepts, it takes these well-known creatures and reimagines them in a way to give them a sense of credibility that makes you forget that you're watching a fictional story and not some nature documentary. It'll introduce you to these treasure bugs, insects shaped like coins and jewelry that target unsuspecting prey, and you're like, okay, that's kind of like real-life bugs that can perfectly camouflage themselves in nature. 2 episodes later, we see our first mimic, and if you're familiar with fantasy, mimics are some of the most well-known monsters responsible for many of your in-game deaths, I'm sure. But here, Dungeon Meshi gives them that believability by imagining them as some giant hermit crabs that gravitate towards chests as their home. Makes sense. But then, seemingly on a totally unrelated note, a treasure bug is found near it. Then one of the characters casually mentions, oh yeah, that's because the treasure bugs lay their eggs on the mimics, so the larvae feed on them and they mature in there. And then it clicks. Oh, that's why these treasure bugs conveniently find their way into chests, perfectly placed for some unsuspecting adventurers to find. And this was the exact point. My mind fully comprehended the exact scope of this world building. These aren't just random monsters scattered around. This is an ecosystem where every single thing is interconnected. There is no part that exists solely in a
Nice. God, it sounds like the writing for this series is actually very good. It reminds me a little bit of like Made in Abyss or something.
bubble. Every piece of this world has been carefully crafted and interwoven with a level of care that's rare to see anywhere. And you're telling me this level of craftsmanship is being used in a make-believe comfy cooking show? This is the moment when you fall into its trap. Oh! Oh! God fucking damn it. When Dungeon Meshi...
You remember a second ago when I said, can you do... and I didn't finish what I was going to say? If you guys knew what I was going to say, then you know. The answer is yes. Yes, you can do both.
She shows its true hand. You realize the food was simply a vehicle to prep you for what the dungeon really is. This is a brutal environment. We are nowhere near close to understanding
what the hell?
This is not your comfy fantasy world. This is a Made in Abyss style Lovecraftian nightmare. A world that runs on its own set of rules beyond human comprehension that we have only just taken a single step into. Yet
Holy shit!
The series never loses its heart. The lovable leads always remain true to themselves. Marcial is still playing Elden Ring. Senshi is playing Cooking Mama. Chilchuck is playing Slay the Spire. Izutsumi just brought Stray. Everyone else is trapped in Darkest Dungeon. Meanwhile, Laios is in the corner going,
FeedMeMore.com.
Dungeon Meshi invites you to have a taster of this living, breathing world.
Damn, I kind of want to watch this now.
None of it's actually real. It'll lull you into its cozy vibe and smack you round the head when you
what
get too
the
comfortable.
hell?
And by the end of it, sits you down.
I'm gonna be honest. No one has recommended Delicious in a Dungeon to me. No one. Maybe like a few of you watching this going, I did, Luke. Okay, well, when I say no one, I mean not many people. I don't remember anyone significantly recommending it. But now I fucking want to watch it.
To enjoy another delectable meal while you reflect on the journey. In summary,
good soup.
Good soup.
Nice. Right, it's Dandadan 201. So what the hell is number 1?
maybe you've been watching anime for 1 year,
So
maybe you've been watching it for 5 years,
So
maybe even
good.
10,
So
but I'm sure
good.
you remember that feeling of watching those first 10 shows. That excitement of discovering this whole new medium where everything felt fresh. It was a place that operated on its own set of
So
rules, not
good.
bound by the
It's
ideas you
so
were used to.
good,
There was
man.
a weirdness to it you couldn't find anywhere else, and every new episode you watched, something unpredictable lay just around the corner. I've been watching anime for 20 years, and Dandadan took me back to those times.
Oh, it's
Shonen
so
Jump is a place where its
good.
formula for success
It's
has been repeated
ridiculous.
over generations. So when a new title gets adapted, we normally know what the rules are. And Dandadan starts by taking that rulebook and setting it on fire. At first you think, okay, it's another battle shonen. Then you realize, hold on, it's actually a rom-com. No, sci-fi. Wait, it's a supernatural. Maybe actually it's even a
Wayward
horror.
Son.
You go through this entire notion before it even
Nice. I like the supernatural reference with the Wayward Son ending theme. Nice.
Curse you.
The road
that
so
90%
far.
of the show revolves around some dude getting his balls back. This is what happens when you throw
true.
everything against
It's
the
true.
wall and say, fuck it, we ball. You could be the strongest observation haki user and still be unable to predict what happens next.
It's
when you
so
expect it to go
good.
forwards, it goes sideways. When you say jump, it asks... It exudes
What
this
the
childish
hell even
freedom
was
of
that?
expression
What
you
even
forget
was
how to
that?
do as an adult. And the most incredible thing is that
Oh, it's
somehow,
so
some
good.
way, it is able to take
Oh,
all
it's
this
so
chaos
good.
and keep everything cohesive. This is a show that can make you laugh, make you cry, make you hype, leave you an
Gonna be honest, that wasn't the scene that made me cry. But I don't really want to talk about the one that did, so we're gonna move on. But god damn it, Dandadan, I loved. I absolutely loved this series so much.
absolute awe in some of its most beautiful moments, all while staying true to its own special brand of
it's
weirdness.
so
In the
good.
sanitized, safe, risk-free world of modern
Your
entertainment,
boss!
watching this reminded me of the childish excitement I should feel when watching a new anime. And the only thing holding this from the top spot is that we've barely taken a step off the starting line.
True. True. What was in the top spot then? What is it? I have no idea what this is gonna be. I'm guessing it's one I haven't seen.
You know, if I'm being super honest, I don't even like drawing manga. It's a pain in the butt.
Then why do you draw, Fujino?
God, man, wow. Woo! Ah. Man, that hits, doesn't it? I literally just got flooded with all the emotions. I didn't realize movies were part of this list. Even if I've reacted to them in the past and they have been, I had forgotten. God. What the hell's wrong with me? Totally deserving of the #1 spot.
If you would, for a second, indulge me on this anecdote I think about a lot. It's 3 AM in the year 1988. An audio engineer in Hawaii is picking up after a late night of work when his phone rings. On the other end was a local musician who asked if he can come in and record something. Of course, the engineer told him that he was closing and they could easily come in the next day, but the guy pleaded to let him record this idea he desperately wanted to see through. 15 minutes later, that person came in. He played one song, one take, and it was over. For years, that recording would lay dormant, only to actually be released 5 years later. That guy was Israel Kamakavivole, and that recording was his now world-famous rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This story has always stuck with me. For anyone who's ever created something, sometimes you have that project, that idea that hits you when inspiration strikes and refuses to leave. You'll think about it when you're taking a shower, when you're having lunch, when you're working on anything else. Like a parasite, it festers in your mind waiting for you to materialize it. And you know you have to see it through. Not for money, not for clout, not for any sense of personal responsibility, but because you just need to. On every single level. That is the exact feeling I get when watching Look Back. A need to make, a need to create. Look Back was many things. It's a love letter to the creative process. It's an exploration to why people make art. It's a homage to some of the most tragic events that have happened in the industry, but more than that, there is this overwhelming sense of an author coming to terms with his own personal struggles, speaking directly through these characters that he's created. Coming from the mind that gave us Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man, this was a shockingly simple, soulful tale of two artists and their journey of creating for each other, creating for money, creating for pride, creating for themselves. This is a film that encapsulates the entire spectrum of emotions for anyone who's ever made anything, in a way only someone who's felt the depths of those feelings could portray. That excitement.
I'm sorry if my commentary on this last part is a little bit lacking. I do just want to pause just to say, if for some reason you haven't seen Look Back yet and you're watching me talk to you right now, take this as just sign to go watch it. Even if you feel like, this is giving away a lot, just go watch it. Okay? It's not long. It's less than an hour. It won't take up much of your time, and you will not regret it. Not one bit. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And the fact that it's #1, I can't argue at all.
So finishing your first work, the struggle of knowing you can do better, that deep insecurity that you're just inadequate,
I'm
the
so
euphoric
glad I've
explosion
seen
of
number
having your
one.
work recognized, the emptiness you feel when you've
Makes me
forgotten
really
why you
happy.
started this journey in the first place, and that moment when you doubt it all and ask, was it all worth it? In 1 hour, this film packs more emotional depth than most anime can fit in an entire season through simple, beautiful storytelling. It felt like a story that was made simply because someone needed to put it all out there. It's jam-packed full of the rawest human emotions, like you're watching somebody scream from their soul. Lines that feel so intimate, you're unsure if you're watching two characters talk to each other or a person having a conversation with themselves. This is the kind of personal story that's so rare to experience, and when I see someone laying themselves bare, it's hard for me not to be deeply moved. I've experienced this story 3 times now, and every time has given me something different. I read the manga and cried at the pure beauty of the storytelling and emotions on display. I watched this in theaters and cried experiencing this story again so perfectly brought to life. I put this on when it got its home release and cried feeling such profound connection to what the creators must have felt when making this, and after every single time, without fail, it gave me a reminder of why the hell I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm sure some of you may think that putting a movie as my #1 anime this year feels like a cop-out, and yeah, it kind of is. I often try to make it a point to keep anime films and series separate. I've never put a movie in any of these rankings before, but no matter how much I reflected, no matter what other shows I put here, nothing else felt right. It had to be Look Back. Not because I wanted to give it exposure, not because of some review score, not because of any arbitrary qualifications. I put it here because simply, I just needed to.
Fuck you, Gigguk, man. What the hell? Never did I expect to be teary-eyed watching a freaking Gigguk anime review of the year list, man. Like, what the hell? Oh, God damn it. The story of Look Back is one that is so incredibly beautiful and so touching and relatable to so many people in every field of any career choice that they have had. But on top of that, and more than the job, more than the passion, it's so relatable for your younger years. The idea of these dreams, you know? And the idea of loss and how it's portrayed. And friendship and how it's portrayed. And just growth. The ending, to me, without spoiling it, because I don't want to, but the ending to me was one of the most realistic portrayals of something that I have ever seen. And I truly stand by that. When I was watching that ending, I even said it, and I think we watched it on stream, and I said to everybody, this is the most realistic thing ever. And I really want to talk about it. I really do. You know what? I'm gonna talk about it. I want to talk about it. So I'm gonna give you guys a spoiler warning right now for Look Back. If you want, you can just scroll through, and when you see my hands up like this, that will be when I stop talking about it. If that helps, like a visual aid. I'll keep my hands up for a while, and that'll be when I stop talking about it. All right? I'm gonna start talking about it now. So skip forward if you don't want to be spoiled about Look Back. Okay? I very rarely do this, but the end with the death and the loss and having the character like deal with it at their job and sitting there and like going back to work after the grieving and then sitting at the office chair and dealing with that loss and like processing it. But then the thing that made it so realistic was the moving on, that life continues, that these losses are here, but we have to keep living. That was what hit me hard. It was because I imagine most of us, if not all of us watching this, have experienced some kind of loss in our lives. And that is the most accurate depiction of it I've ever seen. Where you're sad and you're broken and you go through these horrible pains. And then you have to wake up and move on. And that was what I found so beautifully horrible about the ending. Because it was so real. And yeah, that's what made Look Back so special to me. It was that ending. And that's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to put my hands up and do some crazy Team America waving. So everyone who's watching knows that the spoiler section is over. There you go. Honestly, I just want to say a huge thank you and fuck you to Gigguk for this. Thank you for putting these lists together. They are incredibly fun to react to every year. They are some of the most requested reactions I get whenever you do them. And I know you're never going to see this, but I just want to say a huge thank you because your lists are wonderful. And I love watching your videos. And I love the effort you put into it. And I feel like someone who's like still feels weirdly new to the anime world. It's nice having his hand, like holding my hand at times, leading me through here. And I feel like he does a really good job at doing that, especially for newer anime fans and sort of. And I feel like there's a comfort to his videos where he like always gives appreciation to the anime that doesn't really get the spotlight, and I feel like that's really nice as well. Yeah, this was wonderful because it could have easily have been, you know, like the anime that were all honorable mentions were the big anime of the year. None of them were really in, other than Dandadan, you know, and ReZero. The other 8 weren't really considered the big anime of the year. I guess Look Back, maybe, but yeah, awesome list, well done. And I find it hard not to agree with all of these, even though I haven't seen most of them. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what anime you think deserved a spot on this list. And let me know how you would rank these. And more than that, what's your number one? What is your number one? Would you include Look Back because it's a movie, or would it be something else for you? I hope you all enjoyed this reaction. Please go support Gigguk's original video. Link to it, of course, is in that description. Make sure you watch it to support it. We're reacting to his content, so make sure you go give him the love he deserves. He's the one who put the effort into editing this. He deserves all the love. Thank you for watching my reaction. I hope you liked it. Please like the video. Please subscribe for more. Never did I expect to be crying at one of these freaking reactions, but there you go. Have an awesome day, and as always, my friends, you will see me in the next video.